man, know yourself. This is a concept you say quite often. It's a hashtag, it's a phrase. Tell us a bit more about it.
Right, okay, so man, know yourself, or simply person, know yourself. It's yeah, that's the my core message really to everyone listening, and that's the whole idea of really if you're going to maximize your own effectiveness, if you're really going to live a balanced and a calm life, the core part of it is knowing yourself because that's where the power is. And when I say know yourself, what do I mean? Be a guest to your own self enough to learn, understand what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your tendencies, what are your proclivities, what are your fears, what are your triggers, what are your fantasies, what excites you, what motivates you. Really, really know these things without judging them. The idea is to get to know them, become aware of them. Why? Because then you know when you're operating, where am I operating from? In other words, someone says something and I feel something and then react from that feeling. Why? So am I coming from what was said? Was it a trigger? Which of my triggers? And then when you know your trigger, you then know, okay, so, well, if I respond from the place of this trigger, am I achieving what I want? You can now move on to choose what part you want to respond with. By knowing these things, you can start to play to your strengths while you nurture your weaknesses, for example, where you become aware of your fears. You're not scared of your fears. You're not scared of your feelings. And with things like your tendencies or your proclivities, for instance, you know how to curb things. You know how to not put yourself in a situation where you will should I say lose control of yourself, really lose self-control, just because you put yourself in a way of a tendency or a proclivity that you don't have full mastery over.
Over.
Okay, so it's know yourself really is the concept of being very, 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 very respectful of yourself enough to know you. People would usually say to some to others, you are fond of doing this. You always do this. I don't like when you do this. Oh, I like when you do this. And guess what? One of the things we tend to fight is feedback from people. We see it as criticism. And yet, these people are experiencing different aspects of you. So when you're operating in your place of fear, you might trigger something in someone else. And then they say that back to you. You make me feel XYZ and you defend it. Well, you defend it because you don't know it. If you know it, you won't defend it because you know exactly where it's coming from and you would do something about it. So my message about know yourself is really a message of saying, take your own power back. You're an autonomous entity as a human. And your power and your autonomy lies in understanding who you are. Many times when I ask clients or people to just pay attention to your inner chatter without judging it, just listen to yourself, how you talk to yourself at different times. They do get very surprised at what they find out. And this is part of that journey. This is part of that work. So part of the program I offer is really helping people walk through these things because it could be a bit daunting or scary to go through these steps. In fact, sometimes people don't know how to do it, and having templates at hand to help you go through this inner exploration is quite key, which is what I offer people quite a lot.
Mm.
So, to summarize, you want to take your power back? Know yourself. Spend time knowing you. We get in relationships are better with people when we get to know them. The question is, how is your relationship to yourself? And how much of yourself do you actually know and respect?